Work is done, it's time for some fun. Welcome to the good part. Let's go. How's it going, everyone? My name's Andrew, and this is Get to the Endgame, where I'm going to run you through every single Marvel movie leading up to Avengers Endgame at the end of the month. Today, we have a big one, The Avengers, coming out in May of 2012. This movie was directed by Joss Whedon. You might know him from his work on Buffy the Vampire Slayer or Firefly, two shows that really showcase an ensemble cast, and he did the exact same thing here. With a budget of $220 million, this movie grossed over a $1.5 billion, with a B, billion. It's Marvel's first billion-dollar movie in the series, and with good reason, because this movie is a blast to watch. Without further ado, let's get to the plot. This movie opens up with Loki, from the Thor movies, talking to an alien on an asteroid named the Other. The Other says to Loki that if he can get them the Tesseract, that glowing blue cube from the previous movies, he will in turn get an army with which to rule the Earth. Loki more than happily agrees. Back on Earth, Nick Fury of S.H.I.E.L.D. is entering a base where they're keeping the Tesseract. Soon as he arrives, it's realized the Tesseract is beginning to overpower itself, and it opens up a wormhole to space. Through the wormhole comes Loki. They try to stop him, but he quickly overpowers them using a staff that he was given by the Other. He then uses it to mind control Clint Barton, aka Hawkeye, and Dr. Eric Selvig, both from the Thor movie. It's at this point they begin to steal the Tesseract and leave the base. Fury tries to stop them, but is unable to. He says it is now time to enact the Avengers Initiative. This is when the team begins to get formed up. Black Widow goes to pick up Hulk. You have Agent Phil Coulson swim by a newly formed Stark Tower in the middle of Manhattan to speak to Tony Stark about joining the team. And Nick Fury goes to consult Captain America in an expanded version of the scene that we saw in the end of the Captain America movie. With the team now assembled, they all meet up on the Helicarrier, a giant base for S.H.I.E.L.D. that's flying way up in the sky. On the base, Fury tells them that Loki is still in the Tesseract and they need to get it back. They all agree to help with this plan. Bruce Banner, the Hulk, decides that he will stick back and work on tracking the gamma radiation of the Tesseract to try to locate it, while the rest of the team, being Iron Man, Captain America, and Black Widow, go to Europe and try to capture Loki. They find Loki in Europe, and very easily he surrenders, which is a little weird. They take him back on their plane to fly back to the Helicarrier, and as they're flying back, lightning strikes, and that can only mean one thing: Thor. Thor has come to grab his brother. Thor attacks their plane, grabs Loki, and dives out the back of it. Iron Man and Captain America give chase. It's at this point Loki says to Thor that he's trying to take over the Earth, and that he's got an army to rule with him. Iron Man and Captain America come crashing in and fight Thor, trying to get Loki back. Finally, cooler heads prevail after a standstill because the battle was so intense, and Thor agrees to have Loki go back to the Helicarrier. So they all hop on the plane and go back to the S.H.I.E.L.D. base. Once there, Loki is thrown into a prison, which is soon revealed to actually be meant for Hulk in case anything goes wrong. Then they learn a bunch of stuff. Iron Man hacks into the computer system and learns that the reason that S.H.I.E.L.D. wants the Tesseract for themselves is not to protect the Earth, but rather to create weapons of mass destruction to use against these aliens. And if we know anything about Iron Man from the first couple movies, he doesn't like when technology is used for evil, and Captain America just wants to protect his people. So they both agree this is not a good idea. And as they're thinking this, everyone starts butting heads because they don't know if they want to work with S.H.I.E.L.D. anymore. Just as things are getting heated up, Hawkeye shows up in a plane and attacks the Helicarrier, destroying one of the engines with an explosive arrow. Everything is sent into chaos at once. Iron Man and Captain America go to try to fix the engine that Hawkeye broke. Bruce Banner turns into the Hulk because the whole thing shakes him and he gets very, very angry. So it's up to Black Widow and Thor to try to stop him. As the chaos is ensuing, a few more things occur. Hawkeye jumps out of the plane that he's in and begins to fight Black Widow. Luckily, Black Widow can knock him out, and that breaks the spell that Loki had been keeping him under. Then we have Loki in his prison cell break out. Agent Phil Coulson from the previous movies tries to stop him, but is killed by Loki. Loki then tricks Thor and throws him back into the jail cell. Lastly, Iron Man and Captain America are able to stabilize the engine, but Loki has now escaped, and Hulk, in a fit of rage, jumps onto a different plane that's attacking and rides it all the way down, crashing to the earth, and Loki has gotten rid of Thor by jumping the whole jail cell down to the earth as well. So all that's left on the plane is Captain America, Iron Man, and Black Widow. The team assembles, and Fury informs them that Coulson has died. This rallies the Avengers. Knowing that they have to avenge Coulson's death, they have found their name and decide to start working as a team. Iron Man and Captain America put their heads together and realize that Loki is going to want an audience to prove to the world that he should be their king. And what better place to do this than on top of a newly formed Stark Tower in the middle of New York City. They go over to the Stark Tower, and Dr. Eric Selvig, being mind-controlled by Loki, has formed a barrier for the Tesseract. The Tesseract shoots up a laser to the sky and opens a wormhole, allowing the other minions, the Chitauri, to attack New York. And this is where we get our big fight scene of the movie. It's 30 to 45 minutes long, and it is just every Avenger coming in to fight them. Bruce Banner shows up. Turns out he's always angry and turns into the Hulk and starts smashing stuff. You get Thor coming in with his hammer and lightning striking these giant alien monsters. As all this is going on, Fury gets a message from his higher-ups at S.H.I.E.L.D., and they are furious. They say the only way to stop this attack is to send a nuclear missile to the island of Manhattan. Fury very much doesn't want to do that and kill innocent civilians. The S.H.I.E.L.D. uppers overrule him and send the nuke anyway. Iron Man hears from Fury that the nuke's on his way, so he has a plan. He grabs the nuke as it's coming in and turns it up towards the wormhole in the sky where all the aliens are coming from, sends it up through the wormhole, and it explodes, destroying the aliens' base. This neutralizes all the aliens on the ground. Iron Man then blacks out from the explosion and comes crashing down towards Earth. Hulk luckily can dive and catch him and holds on to him, keeping him safe. Having defeated all the aliens, all 6 of the Avengers gather up and capture Loki. The day has been saved. The next day, Thor agrees to take Loki and the Tesseract back up to Asgard, his home planet, in order to protect them so that none of this will happen again. And Bruce Banner and Tony Stark begin to change Stark Tower into Avengers Tower. In case anything like this happens again, they'll need a new base of operations. End of movie. Post-credit scene. We see the guy who instructed Loki to do all this, speaking to his master. He says that these humans are way stronger than we expected. As the camera pans around, we see that the other's master is none other than Thanos. Now that was a roller coaster of a movie, and I'm sure you're wondering, what do I need to know from that for Avengers Endgame? Well, I'll tell you. It's only a few key things. Once again, 1. Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Black Widow, and Hawkeye are the original 6 members of the Avengers, and they're going to be key in Avengers Endgame. Those are going to be your main characters and the ones you want to focus on the most. Also, there's a ton of tension between Iron Man and Captain America. They actually haven't seen each other since Civil War in like 2014, so it's been a number of years since they've seen each other, leading into Avengers Endgame. And lastly, this is the first appearance of Thanos. So if they want to go back and fight him at the earliest date, because there's hints of time travel coming in Endgame, they're going to have to go back to this battle for New York that happens in this movie. And if they're going to get Thanos, that's where they're going to get him. And that's it. That is all you guys need to know from this movie for Avengers Endgame. On to ranking the film. Last but not least, where does this movie rank in our list of Marvel Cinematic Universe? Well, it's going to go right at number 1. This movie is the most fun and a blast to watch. You finally get everyone teaming up together. It's what everything's been building towards. Iron Man's there, Captain America, Thor, Hulk, and they're all so much fun to watch play off each other. And that's largely thanks to Joss Whedon. Not only did he direct this movie, but he also wrote the screenplay. And his ability to write ensemble dynamics really shines here. Not to mention some iconic shots, such as Hulk flopping Loki around like he's a rag doll. And the iconic shot of them in a circle in the middle of New York City, that is something you can never forget. Plus, it gives us that hint of Thanos at the end, and that's what Endgame's building towards. So it's been going since 2012. This movie is just the pinnacle of the series so far, and it's going to go right at that number 1 slot. And that is it for The Avengers. Tune in tomorrow when we rank Iron Man 3. If you liked what you saw today, hit the like button below and subscribe to the channel. And if nothing else, tell your friends about the videos. Look forward to seeing you in theaters for Avengers Endgame at the end of the month. Until then, catch you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.